Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a great day. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the webinar on integrating Cliq with Zoho Mail using the Cliq developer platform. I'm Purvik, the developer platform evangelist for the Zoho Cliq team, and I'll be walking you through the entire session. We also have with us Tyagaraj, a Cliq platform developer, to address any doubts that you may have about the platform. We'll also have a QA session at the end of the webinar, but you can ask any doubts that you have in the middle of the webinar using the questions tab on the left of your screen, which our expert will answer promptly. A gentle reminder for all the attendees, if you want regular updates from Zoho Cliq, please follow our social media handles to stay updated on the latest features, webinars, and lots more. You can take a look at the slide for our social media handle details. If you want to see the previous webinars that you might have missed, you can watch them in our YouTube channel. I just wanted to quickly remind you that this is a recorded session and we'll be sending you the recording post the webinar via a follow-up email. It'll also be posted on our YouTube channel later, so if you want to refer to this video later easily, subscribe to our channel. If you experience any difficulties in hearing my audio or if the video isn't loading, please mention it in the chat tab so we can resolve it. Integrating Cliq with Zoho Mail using the Cliq developer platform. First, let's go through the agenda for the webinar. We're going to have a proper introduction of the products that we're going to use in the webinar, which are Zoho Cliq and Zoho Mail. Then, we'll see why this integration is required and how it helps us. Next, we'll have a live demo of how we can create this integration from scratch using Cliq's developer platform and its tools. And after that, we'll have the QA session. Let's have a brief introduction about the two applications that we're going to take a look at in this webinar. They are Zoho Cliq and Zoho Mail. They're both Zoho products. Cliq is a business communication software, while Zoho Mail is an email service. They both provide additional security to your messages and emails by encrypting your data at transit and rest. They are both GDPR compliant, and Zoho Mail has also earned the ISO IEC 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 certification for quality assurance in email security. Now let's straight up address the question that's on almost everyone's mind who is watching this webinar. Why? Why do I need to integrate my emails with Cliq? That's a good question. They are comparatively so slow, and the person that you send an email to might not reply to you until they check their emails. On the other hand, most users tend to check their new messages in their communication software. Also, during an email conversation, it's hard to pull in new users into the conversation. Users who join the conversation later won't be able to view the conversation that happened before they joined. This makes collaboration harder. Also, opening your email every once in a while for a short period of time might seem insignificant when compared to the total amount of time you put into your work. That may be true for the first 1 or 2 times you check your email. But a recent study states that the average employee checks their email about 11 times in an hour. So if you put in 8 hours a day, that's almost you checking your email 88 times in a day. The study states that almost 28% of your work time is spent checking emails. That's more than a quarter of your precious work time. To try and mitigate this, according to the same study, more than 84% of employees keep their emails open in the background. This is such a bad idea and goes against basic email etiquette and safety. Sure, you might not miss that important mail that you're waiting for, but it's also a big security risk where someone could easily take a look at your emails when you're away from your computer for a short period and are too lazy to lock it. So considering all these ideas, let's see what you stand to gain if you integrate your emails with Cliq. First is prompt communication. Emails have been the staple of business communication for a long time. But then, why do you think there has been a rise in paid business communication software like Cliq as of lately? That's because email communication has certain disadvantages. Less wastage of your work hours in checking your emails. With this integration, all your important emails will come directly to you in Cliq, so you never have to waste any time switching between your apps. Number 2 is increase in productivity. Researchers at the University of British Columbia found that when people were limited to checking their email just 3 times per day, the stress level decreased significantly. The folks who limited their email checking also felt that they were more able to complete most of their important works and felt a greater sense of accomplishment. Also, with automated email delivery to Cliq, you won't have to have your emails open in the background at work. This way, you have better chances of your sensitive data not being leaked. Now let's have a live demo of creating the Zoho Mail integration using Cliq Platform. Let's have the first example. Here you can see the flowchart of what we're going to do in this example. Let's say we have an app, let's call it Zill Notes, that is in the closed alpha stage. On the hand, people of selected people have got their hands on it and are trying it out. We've asked them to submit their reviews through email. Instead of having to filter out our inbox for every single review, it would be better if all the reviews were displayed in a channel where developers and marketers can view and discuss about them. We can do this using the Cliq platform. If you look at the flowchart, you can see that first we're going to connect Zoho Mail and Cliq using webhooks. And for those of you who don't know what a webhook is, it's a way for one application to deliver data to another app in real time. Then, as we get the email data from Zoho Mail, we're going to analyze the review data in Deluge using AI to check if it's a positive or negative review. Then, we're going to post it in a channel created for discussion about the review. Now, first, let's create a bot that's going to get all the emails. So, first, to create a bot, click on your profile picture, click on Bots and Tools, and Bots, and create a bot. Let's name this bot as MailBot, emailbot, MailBot, whatever you want. And the description is going to be Zoho Mail. Now I'm gonna choose personal access level. If you want your team to get access to it, you can click on team, and if you want your organization, you can click on organization. I'm going to click on channel, allow channel participation, and I'm going to allow it to send messages in the channel. So I'm going to click on save bot. Now that my bot is ready, I'm going to go back and click on my bot name. And here you can see that I have the incoming webhook endpoint for the mail bot. So this is what we're going to use to connect to our mail. So we're going to copy this and we're going to go back to our mail. Now in the mail, if you click on in Zoho Mail, if you click on settings, and if you go to integrations and developer space, in configure, you're going to click on outgoing webhooks. Now here, I'm going to click on, I'm going to add a new configuration, and I'm going to name this as Cliq mail notification. I'm going to enter the webhook. I'm going to paste the webhook URL that I copied from the bot. And to authenticate this, we're going to need a webhook token or a ZAPI key. So we're going to add $ZAPI key is equal to, get the ZAPI key or webhook token, go back to your Cliq, and here under integrations, if you look at the bottom, you can see that there's a webhook token. There are webhook tokens. If you click on it, now we can. There's an option to generate a new token. So we're gonna generate a new token, and we're gonna copy this. We're gonna paste it here. This will essentially authenticate this webhook to access our data. Webhook tokens are really sensitive information, so make sure it never gets, you never leak it online, as people can easily access your data using your webhooks. So for conditions, I'm gonna add a condition. So saying if a mail comes to my email, so this email is going to be Rachel. It's called Rachel. So rachel@you.tilker.com. So I'm gonna add another condition that's gonna say if the subject of the email is app review. Then if these two conditions
Purvi,
are met, yeah.
sorry to
Hello,
interrupt.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
We can go a little bit slow.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay. So should I start? Should I start from the beginning? Okay, I'll start from the beginning then.
Yeah, go proceed.
Okay. So what I've done at the start is I've created a bot first. So I've created the bot called MailBot. I've added the description and I've added all the necessary things like personal access level. So what I've done is, if you click on the MailBot, you can see that it has an incoming webhook endpoint. So this is used to connect with Zoho Mail. So what I've done is copied this incoming webhook endpoint, and I went to Zoho Mail. And in Zoho Mail, if you click on settings, and under settings and in integrations and in developer space, you're going to have the ability to configure outgoing webhooks. So if you click on outgoing webhooks, and you can add a new configuration. So in this new configuration, you can create a custom configuration. So let's say click. Can you all see my screen? So let's name this configuration as click custom in notification. So what the webhook, the URL that I copied from the bot, I'm going to paste it here. And webhooks should be authenticated. To authenticate webhooks, you need ZAPI keys or webhook tokens, or as they're called. So to authenticate this, we're going to enter add question mark ZAPI key is equal to, and we're going to have to paste the webhook token that we created here. We're copying this, and we're going to paste it here. After that, I've added I'll add two conditions. The first condition is any mail that is coming to my email. So to my email is Rachel in this account. So Rachel. And I'm going to add another condition that's going to say if the subject of the email is app review. If it's an app review, then all these mails that are satisfying these two conditions are going to be pushed into my bot. So I'm going to save. I'm going to click on save. So the configuration has been saved. So I'm going to go back to my bot. Now I'm going to click on edit handlers. Now, before that, let's add this bot to the channel that we want. So I already have the channel here. This channel is the app review channel where every they're gonna discuss about all the app reviews. To add this bot to this channel, click on this number add participants. So I'm gonna search for mail bot. Add this bot here. So I've added the bot here. So I'm gonna go back to the bot settings. I'm going to click on edit handlers. What we need is the incoming webhook handler. So we're going to edit code, click on edit code. We're going to delete the default code. So I already have the code here. So I'm going to copy this code. For those of you who don't know Deluge or who wants this code, don't worry about it because I'm going to explain this code from the top to the bottom. And this code will also be available for you. It will be sent to you as a PDF. So if you want to try this code on your own, you can use this code. You can use this code from the materials. So I'm going to click on save. Now I'm going to add the channel unique name here and the bot unique name. I'll explain this after we try this once. So first, to get the channel unique name, we're gonna go back to Cliq. So now we have to open the channel. Now, if you click on the profile picture of the channel and go to connectors, you can see that it has the unique name. Though now all you have to do is copy this unique name and paste it here. After that, we need the bot unique name. To get the bot unique name, all you have to do is go to profile, bots and tools, and click on the name of the bot. And here in the incoming webhook point or the API and webhook point, so endpoint, all you have to do is copy this. This is the unique name of the bot. So all you have to do is copy this mailbot s, and we're going to paste it here. Now we're going to click on save. Now, since I saved it, so our setup is ready. So now anyone who's going to send an email to Rachel, that's going to have the subject of app review. That email is basically going to be sent to this channel, this app review channel. So I have another email open. So let's actually send an email to Rachel. So let's send Rachel Matthew. The subject is going to be app review. So let's say let's add an review called saying the app was great. We love the UI. Waiting for the full release. Now we're gonna send the email. Now if you go to the channel, You can see that the mailbot has posted a message saying Scott Fisher has submitted a positive review about our app, and they say the app was great and really loved the UI and waiting for the full release. So let's go back to the code and see what is going on here. So here we're going to get the body. So the body is the variable in which all the details of the mail are stored. So let's go to the logs to see what we're using the info statement to see what is present in the body, what is stored in the variable body. So if you click on logs, so we're gonna get the summary is how we the body of the mail. So we've stored the summary and the sender in two variables called sender and summary. And next we've used this task. This AI.analyze sentiment is a deluge task that uses AI to where you feed a sentence or any text into into this task, and it's going to use AI to specifically check whether this text is positive or negative. It's going to read the emotions of the text. Then using AI, it's going to tell you whether the text has a positive impact or a negative impact. So we're going to save this in a variable called sentiment, and from that we're getting the prediction whether it's positive or negative. Next up, we're creating another variable and with value saying sender, which is going to contain the sender is Scott Fisher. The name of the sender has submitted a sentiment final is going to contain the prediction, which is going to be positive or negative. We've used markdowns to make it bold so it stands out better. To know whichever markdowns are present, all you have to do is click on M at the bottom of the chat, and here you can see whatever markdown you can use. So we've used the bold markdown, star beyond at the start and star at the end. So star at the start and star at the end, and review about our app. And in the next line, they say, and the body of the mail is going to be present in summary. And we've also made it and I used another markdown say as a quote markdown. So it's going to contain the tilde symbol at the start and the end. Next up, we've used the post a channel as bot function. This is used to post in a channel as a bot. So first you have to enter the channel unique name. You know how to add the channel unique name. So what you do is click on your channel profile picture, go to connectors, and this is where the unique name is. So the channel unique name and the bot unique name, and then the review is going to be the variable that's going to have this text, and then we're going to return an empty map. So let's now we know what a positive review is. Now let's try actually sending a negative review about the app and check if the negative the AI is actually working. So let's go back to the other mail. Now we're going to send another mail to Rachel saying app review, submit the subject of app review. We're going to send, let's say the app was very bad. Had a really bad time with glitches. Needs a lot of work. So let's send this. So you can see that Scott Fisher has submitted a negative review about the app, and they're saying the app is very bad and had a really bad time with glitches, needs a lot of work. So now we can use this basically segregates the reviews into two. In spite of instead of just adding this in a channel, so it basically develops it into two. So positive reviews, the marketers can look at the positive reviews and use that to market the app as points to market the app. And the negative reviews, developers can look into these and try to make the app like fix the app and make it better. This is how now we basically have any email that is sent to Rachel Matthew about the app reviews that's going to be sent here in real time. Now that we've tackled getting live email notifications in Cliq, how about we try to send an email from Cliq without having to switch apps? To do this, what we're going to do is create a slash command that's going to invoke forms, and this form is going to take user input such as which email you want to send it to, what is the title of the email, the body of the email, and if you want to add any attachments to the email. And this is essentially going to get all the data from the form and feed it into a function that's going to send the that's going to put it all together and send it as an email through API through your Zoho. First, we need to create a connection that's going to connect our Cliq app to Zoho Mail. To do this, click on your profile, bots and tools, and click on connections. Now I've already created a connection, but I'll create another one just for you, so just so that you know how to create a connection. So I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna create a connection. Since Zoho Mail is already supported as a default service, you don't have to create a custom connection. All you have to do is search for the default service and create a connection. So I'm gonna search for mail. Let's try that again. I'm gonna select Zoho Mail. So let's enter the connection name, whatever name you want. So I'm gonna say Zoho Mail for Cliq. And then you have to choose the scopes that you want. These scopes essentially limit the amount of data that this connection is going to access in your Zoho Mail. So whatever scopes that we need here are folders.write, messages.write, messages.read, and folders.read, accounts.read, and that's it. When you create and connect, we'll authenticate the service using Zoho Flow. Zoho Flow helps it easy. It makes it easier for you to access other apps through connections. So you can see that it has access now to read and write all operations on mail, view account related information, and read and write operations on the folder. If you see any other access that you don't want it, then you'll have to go back and reduce the scopes. So I'm going to click on accept. So now I've created a connection successfully. I'm going to go back and create a slash command. So to create a slash command, all you have to do is click on slash commands and create command. So we're going to name this as send Gmail because it's going to send a mail from our Zoho Mail. Let's give a hint for our users so they know what they're going to use, what this command is used for. Sends an email from your Zoho account. Zoho Mail. So I'm gonna go for personal, but if you want your team to access this, you can select team or your organization. So I'm gonna click on save and edit code. I'm gonna delete this. Just like before, I have the code already here. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it here. So I'm gonna save it. So I'm gonna explain the code to you. First, let's try handling this code. Let's try executing the slash command. Let's say slash send email. Like, you click on proceed to allow. We can see that it in real actually invokes a form that asks for a recipient email address, the title of the email content, and an attachment if you want to add an attachment to your email. So let's go back to the code and see how it works. So first, the email is we're getting the user who actually invokes the slash command, and we're gonna get the email data of the email of the user. So we're gonna store it in a variable called email, and then we're creating a response map. So next up, we've built a form. So this might look intimidating, but it's actually really easy. There's an easy way to create forms. Even if you don't know any coding, it's easy. We've actually have an UI for you to easily build forms. So all you need to do is go to click.zoho.com/form builder, and this is basically a UI so which you can use to drag and drop. So let's try this. That you can easily build a form by looking at it, and you'll directly get a code. It's just like message builder. So here you can see that it has basic fields on the left side, So let's try building one. So what I need first is an email. So let's drag and drop an email. So this is going to contain the to address. Next up is a title. So we need a text field. Next up is we need the body of the email. So it's going to have a lot more text. So let's go for multi-line. And then we need an attachment area. So another field. We're going to go down, and here we can see that it's a file upload field. So if you click on preview, you can see that it invokes a form. So what you do is just change the label. It's going to say let's say recipient email address, and let's say this is the title of the email, and this is going to contain the body of the email. It's going to contain upload in your file. So if you click on preview, you can see that it gets the recipient email address, the email title, and the email body, and upload your file. All you have to do is click on view code, and here you get the JSON. All you have to do is copy. All I did is copy this JSON, and I pasted it here. This is just the JSON that I got from the form builder. So here at the end of the form JSON, you can see that it's invoking a function called Zoho Mail function. So I haven't created a function yet. So what this essentially is, when you execute this form, if you click on preview, when you click on the submit button in the form, it's going to invoke the function. So we need to create the function. So what we're going to do is go back, make sure to save it here. Did I save it? Okay, I saved it. Now go back and click on functions. I'm going to click on create function. So make sure you name your function which just like that. So this is Zoho Mail FN. So if I name it as Zoho Mail FNASD or any other other than any other type text that is other than the name that I gave it here. So if we go back to slash command, I need to make sure that what the name that I've given here is the name of the function that I create. So if you change it to NASD, so you'll have to change here to NASD if you want. So I'm gonna go from Zoho Mail function since it's easier for me. So this is used to connect used in the slash Zmail function command. So the function type is going to be form since it's going to be invoked at the end of the form. So I'm going to click on save and edit code. I'm going to delete the base code. And just like before, I have the code for the Gmail function. So I'm going to copy this. Save it here. So since I've saved it, let's try actually sending a mail from our slash command, and then we'll look into the code and see how it works. So let's try sending a mail. So slash send the email. So let's send a mail to my colleague Scott Fisher at silker.com. I'm going to enter his email. So the email title is supposed to be customer list. Hi Scott. Here is the attachment. Here is the list of customers from last week's demo that you want. So we're going to let's add an attachment which is going to contain all the list of customers. So we're going to click on, I already have the customer list as a PDF. So I'm going to add this. So I'm going to click on send and proceed to allow. So you can see that the mail has been successfully sent. So let's go to our mail and check if it's actually sent. You can see that it's sent. So if we go back to Scott's email, let's check our inbox here. You can see that Rachel Matthew has sent an email saying, Hi Scott, this is the list of customers from last week demo that you want, and it has an attachment. So let's go back to the code and see how it all works. So we go back to the code. First, we're using the info form statement to get to check the JSON of the form that is revealed. So let's go to the logs first. It takes a bit of time for the logs to appear, and so it's going to take at least like a minute or so. So till we wait for that, let's look at the code. So first, we're getting the values of the form. This essentially has all the inputs of the user, which is going to have the email address that you want to send it to, the title of the email, and the body of the email and the
Well,
attachment.
sorry to
So we've
interrupt.
got all
Please
these.
zoom the screen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait.
yeah, thank you.
Is it better now? Okay.
A little bit more. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
So here you can see that I've used the info form statement. So I'm going to click on logs. Okay. So if you use the info statement, it's gonna enter the logs here. This is how you debug your code. So first, we're using the info form statement, and here you can see that it has all the values. So it has all the values that the user has submitted. So the title of the email, and this the text area contains the body of the email. The sender contains the email address to which we receiver contains all the email address to which we've sent it, and the file contains the object of the file, which is going to be the customer list PDF. So what we've done is got the sender and receiver and got all these values and posted it in a variable called sender, receiver, content, and title and file. Next, Next, we converted the file object and got the file name. So we've done this. We'll get to this later. This will be explained later. So what we've done is to send an email. Let's go to the REST API of Zoho Mail to see what we need to send an email with attachments. To go to the REST API, all you have to do is search for Zoho Mail REST API in any search engine, and here in the index, all you need is go to the email API, and here if you scroll down, you can see that they have an API called send email with attachments. We need this one. So if we go here, you can see that to get this to use this REST API, all you need the account ID of the email, and also you also need to upload the attachment. So if you go down, there is another API for uploading attachments. So before you send an email with attachments, you need to upload the attachment to their servers. So first let's get the account ID. Let's see how to get the account ID. To get the account ID, if you go up, you can see that there's another API called accounts API, and here there is an API to get the user account details. So if you click on that, you can see that this is the request URL, the mail.zoho.com/API/accounts, and it's going to essentially return the all the details about your account, such as display name, time zone, policy. And if you scroll down here, you can see that it also reveals the account ID of the email. So what we're going to use this API to get the account ID. So if we go back to the code, so we've used the invoke URL statement to connect with the REST API. We copied and pasted from the URL from there to here, and the type is get statement. And we've also used the connection that we created here, Zoho Mail for Cliq. If you go to connections and my connection, you can see that we have a connection called Zoho Mail for Cliq. This is the connection that we created just now. We've used this connection, and from that response, we've got the account ID of the email address, and we've stored it in a variable called account ID. Next, we've used another REST invoke URL statement to upload the files. To upload the files, let's go back to the REST API, and we saw that there is another email API to upload the files. If we go scroll down, see, this is the upload attachments API. We've used this to upload the customer list PDF file. So if you go down, you can see that this is the request URL. mail.zoho.com/API/accounts, and this also needs the account ID. So if we and we're gonna go back to the code, and here we've pasted this URL here, and we've replaced the account ID with the account ID here dynamically. And also, if we go to the REST API, it needs the file name. So this requires the file name of the file, not the object, just the file name. So what we've done, so that's why if we go back to the code here, you can see that we got the file name here in a variable called file string, file.get file name. The .get file name is a function that's used to get the name of the file, name of the object. So the file string variable contains the name of the file. So we've also passed it here as file name is equal to file string, and the type is going to be post because we're pushing the data into Zoho Mail. And for parameters, it's got the file object, and we've used the connection Zoho Mail for Cliq just like before. And the content type is going to be application/octet stream, since it's not a text, it's an application file object. Next, we've created these are all the parameters for the next one. So we've used another invoke URL here. This is used to send the email with parameters with the attachments. So if we go to the REST API, if we scroll up, so this is to send email with attachments. So we have the account ID, and we've also uploaded the attachment here. Now all we need to do is send an email with the attachment. So here, if you go to the API, this is the request URL that we need. So we've copied this and pasted it there. And you can see that it has a request body, and this request body is supposed to have parameters called from address, to address, CC address. If there's a CC, if you're going to CC or BCC someone, a CC address and BCC address, the subject, and if you want to encode this, and mail format, attachments. So what we need is the from address, to address, and CC address. We need it in this form, in a map. So what we've done is go back to the code, and we put all these in a map called mail body with from address and with containing the sender, the to address and containing the receiver, subject and content and attachments. And the attachments has to be a list according to the API. So we've created a list and added the object as in the list. Then we essentially post this as a parameter. So we posted this as a parameter in this invoke URL statement. The type is post, and we've used the connection that we created before, which is the Zoho Mail for Cliq, and the content type is going to be application/JSON. Next up, at the end of after sending any code or a REST API, we get a code response code. This response code, usually if it's successful, it's gonna return back to you a response code of 200. So we've used an if statement, which is gonna say if the code that we get from the status is 200, it's gonna say the mail has been successfully sent. And if it's not, then it's gonna tell you that the mail hasn't been sent, and it's gonna ask you to try again. That's what we did. So when we sent the mail, you can see that the mail has been successfully sent, and it's returned the value here. So we can close this, and so this is how you successfully send it. So we've successfully sent a mail from Cliq without having to open Zoho Mail. So let's send another mail just to check. So send Gmail. I'm gonna send a mail again to Scott Fisher. So the email title is going to contain the same. Let's say the same customer list. Number 2. Here is the hi Scott. Add the attachment, customer list. I'm going to send it here. So we've sent a mail directly from chat without having to open Zoho Mail. Next up, let's check the inbox again, so to see if the mail is successfully received. So we can see that customer list 2. Here's the customer list as a PDF that you wanted. So we've successfully sent the mail. So next up, For the next example, let's say let's create a scheduler which is gonna get all the 100 emails of the day for you and post it in a bot. So even if you look at your email 88 times a day, no one's perfect. So you're gonna miss one, at least one important email. You might miss it. So to do this, we're gonna use schedulers to post and import all the 100 emails, to filter out all the 100 emails. It's gonna access your Zoho account, and it's gonna Zoho Mail, and it's gonna check your emails and to see if you haven't read any 100 if you haven't read any emails for the day, and it's gonna filter them out, and it's gonna post that into a bot and in your channel, so you never miss any of that. So to do this, let's go back to Cliq, and let's create a scheduler now. So click on bots and tools, schedulers. You're gonna click on create scheduler. So let's say important 100 emails of the day. So gets you all the emails, 100 emails of the day. So this is gonna occur daily at 4 p.m. in the evening. So we never miss an email that happened in the morning or in the afternoon. So click on save and edit code. I'm gonna go to mailbot here on the right side. So now I already have these scheduler code here, which I'm gonna copy. So I'm gonna copy this. Pasted it here. So at the end we have the click post to bot function. So I'll explain this, but to get the bot unique name, we know how to get the bot unique name. All you have to do is go to Cliq and click on your profile, the bots and tools. The bot that we need is the mail bot. So click on the name of the bot, and in the API endpoint, this is how you get the unique name of the bot. So we're going to copy this, we're going to paste it here and click on save. So let's try sending. If we go to the email, go to our emails and go to my folders, you can see that there are two emails from Scott Fisher. So I've opened this email. So let's send another email from Scott saying to Rachel for any subject. Let's say Zilker marketing. Hi Rachel. And recording of the Zilker. So I'm gonna send the mail to Rachel. So if we go to the mail, you can see that they've opened this email for the app review, but we haven't opened these two emails, which has the Zilker marketing and the app review. So at the end of the day, if we haven't read these two mails, we need these to be posted in the bot. So we go back to the bot, click on save and execute. Let's try executing this code, the scheduler. So the scheduler has been successfully executed. You can see that the mailbot has posted. See, here are the important emails of the day that you have missed. So it says Scott Fisher has sent an emails regarding Zilker marketing, and he's asked, "Hi Rachel, can you share me the recording of the last Zilker marketing meeting that we had?" So if we click here, it also has a URL that's going to take you directly to the email. So you can see that it opens the email directly. So let's go back to the code and see how this works. So first, we've used the Zoho.current date This current date function is returns the current date of the or current date of execution. So today is 14th September, so it's going to return 14th of September. If the scheduler executes on the next day, say 15th September, it's going to return 15th September. This is used to filter the emails that only happen for that day. So next up, we've used the invoke URL statement to get the account ID. Now, if we go back to the REST API for Zoho Mail, now what we need are the list of emails in this folder. This is the API that we need. This is going to list all the emails that are in the folder. So for this too, we need the account ID. So what we've done is you use the accounts API to get the account ID, just like before for the slash command. We've got the account ID in a variable called account ID. And next up, we have the folder ID. You, you need the folder ID to get the folder ID, if you click on this folder, and so in your mail, on the in the URL, at the end of the URL, you can see that there is a bunch of numbers after slash folder. So this is essentially the folder ID for this folder to me. So if I click on Outbox, it's going to have a different mail ID. So what I need is the to me folder that the mails that are missed in the to me folder. So I've copied this folder ID and I've pasted it in the and stored it in a variable called folder ID. Next up, we've created parameter maps, which is going to have the folder ID and the status. Now, how do we get these parameters? So if you go to the API, you can see that it has a folder. It requires a folder ID of the emails which it needs to be retrieved. And next up, we have the status. This is used to filter the messages that are unread, that are not opened yet. So it can have two values, unread or read. So basically, unread means all the emails that have not been opened yet, and read will give you all the emails that are already open. So we need the unread one. So we pass the value of unread here. So we've stored it as 100 for the status, and the folder ID we've posted the ID here. So next up, we've used the invoke URL statement, and we've copied the URL from the REST API here. So this is the request URL. We've copied this and pasted it there, and the type is get, and we've passed the parameters map as here as params. Next, we've used the connection that we created for Zoho Mail, which is Zoho Mail for Cliq. Next up, we've got all this data. So if we click on logs, now first, using the info statement, we can see that today's date is 14th of September. So we've got that. Next info statement is all mail. So from this invoke URL, we've got all this mail here. So all the mail are going to be in a list called data. So the first mail is in the first map. So summary, send date, and subject is Zilker marketing, and it's going to contain all the details of the first email. And the second email is going to be in a different map, so which is going to contain the other emails, the details. So what we've done is got this data list in a variable called mails, and since we need to segregate the two different mails into two in the same list, we've used the for each statement. So for each mail in mails, we've got the time. So the time is the send date in GMT. If you look at the logs, you can see that the time of execution. So if we click here, you can see that it has a sent date in GMT. So this has the time at which the email was sent. So this is a Unix epoch time. So we cannot use the Unix epoch time here. So what we've done is use the deluge task too long, deluge function too long, and to date to convert this into the current date, into the Unix epoch time into the current date. If we click on logs, you can see that it's converted into 14th of September 2022. This is what we need. This is the time of execution of the email. So we're going to go back to the main code. So we've used the if statement to check if the email is from today. So if the send time is equal to the current date, if the send date is equal to the current date, then it's going to go into the for loop. So from in the for loop, we've got the message ID, the URL, and the sender and subject and summary in variables called message ID, URL, sender, sub, and summary. Next, we've added all these as a text in a list called important mail list. So here you can see that the first way we've sent is a data. The first one is sender is going to contain sender. The next line is going to contain the subject. So if you look at the message that was posted by the bot, you can see that it has a sender, which is going to contain the sender of the email, the subject, which is going to contain the subject, so summary, which is going to contain the body of the email, and another URL. So if we go back to the code, you can see that we've used the another markdown here. So to this is how you basically hyperlink anything, any URL. So if you, all you need to do is enter the text that you want to hyperlink as within close brackets, square brackets, and then the URL that you want to be hyperlinked, you want hyperlinked into the text as in round brackets next to that. So we've posted the URL here. Next up, we create another variable called response, and this is gonna basically provide the text, enter the text here. This is the response. So here we can see that we've added the slides list. So what we've done is we've used the message builder to create this message. So to use a message builder, it's just like form builder. All you have to do is search for message builder, click.zoho.com/message builder. Okay, all you have to do is all we've done is added a title component, a text component, and here we've added the text here. So if you go to the message JSON, you can see that it has the slides list, and we've basically dynamically replaced the slides list with the list that we created here, with the important mail list. So what we've done is, yeah, we've just replaced this here. So next up, we've used the zoho.cliq.post to bot function. So post to bot is used to post any messages to a bot. So we need the unique name of the bot here. So the unique name of the bot is mailbot_s, and it's gonna enter the value of response here. So if we go to the chat, you can see that these are the two mails that have not read yet. Now to check if it's actually dynamically working. Let's go to the mail. You can see that I've opened the Zilker marketing mail, but I haven't opened the app review mail. So let's execute the uh, scheduler once again to see if it actually reads that the first mail has been opened already. Now, if we go back to the scheduler, you can see that the first mail has been ignored, and the second mail, the app review mail, that's the only mail that I've not read yet for today. So this is going to basically execute at 4 p.m. in the evening, so that any mail that you missed is going to be sent to your bot as a notification. Then you're going to check the notification in the bot chat, and you're going to check that mail. You're going to open that mail, so you never miss any important mail. And that's it. This is how you integrate your Zoho Mail with Cliq.